Lily was small for her age, but her heart was as big as the wide-open sky above the wagon train. Dust swirled around her worn boots as she hurried to fetch water for her stepmother, a woman whose face seemed permanently set in a frown. The other children played games, their laughter echoing through the camp, but Lily knew better than to join them. Chores were her constant companions. Her real mother had passed away years ago, leaving Lily in the care of her father. He remarried quickly, hoping for a mother figure for his daughter, but Alara, the new wife, only saw Lily as an inconvenience, a reminder of a life she hadn't chosen. When Lily's father succumbed to illness the previous winter, Alara wasted no time packing up their meager belongings and joining a wagon train heading west, dreaming of striking it rich in California. Life on the trail was hard. Lily woke before dawn to start the fire, cooked meals over the open flame, and cleaned up after everyone else. Her stepmother and stepbrothers, Bertram and Clarence, treated her like a servant, demanding more and more while offering nothing in return. Bertram and Clarence were lazy and cruel, often tripping Lily as she carried heavy buckets or snatching the meager portions of food she managed to save for herself. Alara would often say, "You're lucky we let you travel with us, Lily. You'd be nothing without me." Lily knew it wasn't true. She was strong and capable, and she possessed a kindness that even Alara couldn't extinguish. She found joy in the little things, the songs of the birds, the beauty of the wildflowers that dotted the landscape, and the warmth of the sun on her face. One evening, as the sun dipped below the horizon, painting the sky in hues of orange and purple, Lily sat alone by the campfire, mending a tear in her worn dress. She watched the other families laughing and sharing stories, a pang of longing in her heart. She wished she had a real family, one that loved and cared for her. She looked up at the stars, twinkling like diamonds scattered across a velvet cloth, and whispered a silent prayer for a better life. She knew it was a long shot, but Lily never lost hope. The wagon train creaked and groaned to a halt near a small stream, a welcome sight after a long, dusty morning. Alara announced it was time for a midday rest. Lily, as usual, was the first to start working. She gathered firewood, filled the water tun, and began preparing a simple meal of beans and hardtack. Bertram and Clarence lounged in the shade of the wagon, complaining about the heat, while Alara fanned herself with a tattered piece of cloth. Her eyes narrowed as she watched Lily. "Hurry up, girl," Alara snapped. "I'm hungry." Lily bit back a retort and focused on her task. She knew arguing would only make things worse. As she stirred the beans, she noticed Alara subtly signaling to Bertram and Clarence. They exchanged knowing glances, a shiver of unease running down Lily's spine. After everyone had eaten, Alara announced she was going for a walk to stretch her legs. She ordered Lily to stay behind and wash the dishes. Bertram and Clarence followed Alara, disappearing into the thick brush that lined the stream. Lily scrubbed the tin plates, her mind racing. She couldn't shake the feeling that something was wrong. When Alara and her sons didn't return after an hour, Lily started to worry. She gathered her courage and ventured into the brush, calling out Alara's name. Only the rustling of leaves and the chirping of birds answered her. She walked deeper and deeper, her heart pounding in her chest. Suddenly, she stumbled upon a disturbing sight. The wagon was gone. The tracks in the dirt clearly showed that it had been driven away, heading further west. Her stepmother and stepbrothers were gone, leaving her alone with nothing but the clothes on her back. Tears welled up in Lily's eyes as the realization hit her. Alara had abandoned her. She was alone, lost in the vast wilderness. A wave of despair washed over her, but deep down, a spark of resilience flickered. She wouldn't give up. She would survive. She had to. Taking a deep breath, Lily wiped away her tears and started walking, determined to find her way back to the trail or to find someone who could help her. The sun beat down mercilessly, but Lily pressed on, her small figure a solitary speck against the backdrop of the endless frontier. Days blurred into a relentless cycle of walking, searching for water, and trying to find something to eat. Lily's small frame ached with exhaustion, and her throat was parched. The sun, a blazing eye in the sky, seemed determined to scorch the earth. She walked along the faint wagon trail, hoping to catch up with another group, but saw only endless stretches of dry land and scrub brush. At first, fear had been her constant companion, whispering anxieties in her ear. She imagined mountain lions lurking behind every bush and rattlesnakes coiled beneath every rock. But as time went on, a different kind of fear began to creep in, the fear of giving up. She learned to identify edible plants, remembering tips her mother had taught her long ago. She caught grasshoppers and roasted them over a small fire, a meager but necessary source of protein. Water was the hardest to find. She followed dry creek beds, hoping for a spring, and collected dew from leaves in the early morning. One evening, as the sky turned a bruised purple, she stumbled upon a small cave. It was dark and damp, but offered some protection from the elements. She gathered dry leaves and twigs and built a small fire near the entrance, hoping to ward off any wild animals. As she sat by the fire, listening to the crackling flames, a lone wolf howled in the distance. The sound sent shivers down her spine, but she refused to let fear consume her. She remembered her mother's words, "Even in the darkest night, there is always a spark of hope." She looked up at the stars, those same stars she had wished upon just days before. They seemed brighter now, more distant, yet somehow more comforting. She closed her eyes and imagined her mother's loving embrace, drawing strength from the memory. The next morning, she awoke to the sound of birds chirping. She emerged from the cave, her body stiff and sore, but her spirit unbroken. She knew the journey ahead would be long and difficult, but she was determined to survive. She was Lily, and she wouldn't give up. She would keep walking, keep searching, keep hoping, until she found her way to a better life. With renewed determination, she set off once more, her small figure disappearing into the vast, unforgiving landscape. Far away from Lily's struggle, Jedediah Strong surveyed his vast ranch from atop his favorite horse, a sturdy palomino named Goldie. He was a man of the land, his face weathered by years of sun and wind, his hands calloused from hard work. Jedediah was known throughout the territory as a fair and generous man, quick to lend a hand to those in need. His wealth was considerable, built on years of successful cattle ranching, but it hadn't changed his humble nature. He lived alone in a large, comfortable ranch house, surrounded by loyal ranch hands who respected him deeply. He had never married. His life was dedicated to his ranch and his cattle. Sometimes, though, especially during the long winter nights, a pang of loneliness would tug at his heart. He longed for a family, for the sound of children's laughter echoing through the halls of his home. Today he was riding the range, checking on his herd, and making sure the fences were secure. The sun was high in the sky, and the air was dry and hot. As he rode, he noticed a small hawk circling overhead, its sharp eyes scanning the ground below. Jedediah often admired the hawk's keen vision and its ability to spot even the smallest prey from great distances. Suddenly, Goldie whinnied and stopped, her ears perked up, sensing something unusual. Jedediah followed her gaze and saw something moving in the distance, a small, solitary figure against the backdrop of the parched landscape. He squinted, trying to make out what it was. It looked like a child. Concern etched lines on his face. It was unusual to see anyone alone out here, especially a child. He urged Goldie forward, his heart pounding with a mixture of curiosity and apprehension. As he drew closer, he could see that it was indeed a young girl, walking slowly and deliberately, her head down, her shoulders slumped with exhaustion. He spurred Goldie into a gallop, determined to reach her as quickly as possible. He wondered who she was, where she came from, and why she was all alone in this desolate place. He had a feeling this encounter would change his life in ways he couldn't yet imagine. The hawk continued to circle overhead, a silent witness to the unfolding drama below. Jedediah reined in Goldie a few feet from Lily, dismounting quickly. He approached her cautiously, his voice gentle. "Hello there, little one," he said, kneeling down to meet her gaze. "Are you all right?" Lily looked up, her eyes wide and filled with a mixture of fear and relief. She hadn't seen another person in days, and the sight of Jedediah, tall and strong, filled her with a sense of hope. She was so tired and thirsty that it took her a moment to find her voice. I'm lost, she finally whispered, her voice hoarse. My stepmother. She left me. Jedediah's heart clenched at her words. To abandon a child in this unforgiving landscape was a cruel and heartless act. He could only imagine what she had been through. He took off his hat and offered her some shade. What's your name, sweetheart? He asked softly. Lily, she replied, her voice a little stronger now. Well, Lily, Jedediah said, smiling kindly. My name is Jedediah. You're safe now. I'm going to take you back to my ranch. You can rest there, and we'll figure out what to do next. He reached out a hand, and Lily hesitated for a moment before taking it. His hand was warm and strong, and she felt a surge of comfort she hadn't felt in a long time. Jedediah helped her onto Goldie, settling her in front of him. He mounted behind her, holding her securely. As they rode towards the ranch, Lily leaned against Jedediah, her exhaustion finally catching up with her. She closed her eyes, feeling safe and protected in his arms. Jedediah looked down at her, his heart filled with compassion. He couldn't imagine what kind of woman would abandon such a sweet and innocent child. He knew, in that moment, that he couldn't just let her go. He would take care of her, protect her, and give her the home and family she deserved. The ranch hands would be surprised, no doubt, but Jedediah knew he was doing the right thing. He had found someone to fill the emptiness in his life, and he wouldn't let her go. The sun beat down on them, but a gentle breeze whispered through the tall grass, carrying with it the promise of a new beginning. As Jedediah and Lily approached the ranch, the sprawling buildings came into view, a testament to Jedediah's hard work and success. The ranch hands, a motley crew of cowboys and ranch workers, stopped what they were doing and stared in surprise as Jedediah rode into the yard with a young girl in his arms. Dusty, the foreman, a grizzled old cowboy with a twinkle in his eye, was the first to approach. Well, Jedediah, he said, scratching his head, what have we here? Jedediah dismounted, carefully lifting Lily down. Dusty, this is Lily, he said. She's going to be staying with us for a while. Dusty raised an eyebrow, exchanging glances with the other ranch hands. They were used to Jedediah bringing in stray animals, but a child was a different matter entirely. Lily, this is Dusty, and these are the boys, Jedediah said, gesturing to the other ranch hands. They're good men. They'll take care of you. Lily, still feeling shy and overwhelmed, managed a small smile and a nod. The ranch hands, despite their initial surprise, couldn't help but be touched by her vulnerability. We'll get her settled in, Jedediah, Dusty said, his voice softening. Martha's got a spare room already. She always said this place needed a bit of sunshine. Martha was the ranch's cook and housekeeper, a kind and motherly woman who had been with Jedediah for many years. Jedediah smiled gratefully. Thank you, Dusty. I appreciate it. Martha came bustling out of the ranch house, her face creased with concern. What's all the commotion? She asked, then saw Lily. Her expression softened instantly. Oh, you poor thing, she said, hurrying over and taking Lily's hand. You must be exhausted. Come on inside, dear. I'll get you something to eat and a nice warm bath. Lily looked up at Jedediah, her eyes filled with gratitude. He nodded reassuringly. Go with Martha, Lily. You'll be all right. Martha led Lily into the ranch house, leaving Jedediah and the ranch hands in the yard. So, Dusty said, turning to Jedediah, what's the story, boss? You think you sight. It's a long one, Dusty, he said. But the short version is she was abandoned out on the trail. I couldn't just leave her there. The ranch hands nodded in understanding. They knew Jedediah's kind heart. They might have been surprised, but they trusted his judgment. They knew that if Jedediah had brought her here, she must be special. And deep down, they knew that the ranch and Jedediah needed Lily just as much as she needed them. The ranch house, usually filled with the rough sounds of cowboy life, suddenly felt a little warmer, a little brighter, with the promise of a new, unexpected family. Martha fussed over Lily like a mother hen, drawing a bath, finding her a clean dress that had belonged to her own daughter many years ago, and preparing a plate of warm stew and fresh bread. Lily ate with gusto, savoring every bite. It was the best meal she had had in months. After her bath and meal, Lily felt like a new person. She was shown to a small but cozy room with a soft bed covered in a patchwork quilt. She sank into the mattress, feeling the tension drain from her body. It was the most comfortable bed she had ever slept in. The next morning, Lily woke up feeling refreshed and rested. She found Martha in the kitchen, humming as she prepared breakfast. "Good morning, dear," Martha said, smiling warmly. "Sleep well." "Yes, ma'am," Lily replied, returning the smile. "Thank you for everything." "Nonsense," Martha said. "You're welcome here, Lily. You're going to fit right in." After breakfast, Lily ventured outside. The ranch hands were already hard at work, tending to the horses, mending fences, and rounding up cattle. She watched them from a distance, feeling a little shy and unsure of herself. Dusty noticed her and approached, tipping his hat. "Mornin', Lily," he said. "How are you feeling?" "I'm feeling much better, thank you," Lily replied. "Well, if you're feeling up to it," Dusty said, "maybe you could help us out around here. We could use an extra pair of hands." Lily's face lit up. "I'd like that very much," she said. She was eager to prove herself and to earn her keep. Dusty assigned her to help with the chickens, gathering eggs, and feeding the hens. Lily threw herself into the task, enjoying the fresh air and the company of the clucking birds. She soon discovered that she had a knack for handling animals, and the chickens seemed to respond to her gentle touch. As the days went by, Lily became an integral part of the ranch. She helped Martha in the kitchen, learned to milk the cows, and even started to learn how to ride a horse from one of the younger ranch hands, a kind young man named Billy. She was quick to learn and eager to please, and the ranch hands, initially wary of her presence, quickly warmed to her. They admired her work ethic, her cheerful spirit, and her genuine kindness. She had a way of bringing sunshine into their lives, and they found themselves looking forward to her company. Even the gruffest cowboys couldn't resist her sweet smile and her willingness to help with any task, no matter how difficult. Lily, in turn, found a sense of belonging she had never known before. She was no longer an orphan, alone and unwanted. She was part of a family, a community, and she was loved. Weeks turned into months, and Lily blossomed at the ranch. Jedediah watched her with pride, his heart swelling with affection. She was no longer the scared and weary girl he had found on the trail. She was a confident, happy young woman, full of life and energy. One evening, as they sat on the porch watching the sunset, Jedediah turned to Lily, a serious expression on his face. "Lily," he said, "I've been doing a lot of thinking lately." Lily looked at him, her eyes filled with curiosity. "About what, Jedediah?" "About you," he said. "About your future, and about this ranch." He paused, taking a deep breath. "I know I haven't known you for very long, but in these past few months, you've become more important to me than I ever thought possible. You brought so much joy and laughter into this old house, and you've made this ranch feel like a home again." He reached out and took her hand, his eyes filled with warmth. "Lily," he continued, "I know I can never replace your real parents, but I would be honored if you would let me be your father. I want to adopt you, Lily. I want you to be my daughter." Tears welled up in Lily's eyes. She had dreamed of having a family, of having someone to love and care for her, but she never dared to believe it could actually happen. "Oh, Jedediah," she whispered, her voice choked with emotion. "I would love that more than anything in the world." She threw her arms around him, hugging him tightly. Jedediah hugged her back, his heart overflowing with happiness. He had found his daughter, and she had found her father. "Does this mean I can call you Papa?" Lily asked, pulling back and wiping away her tears. Jedediah smiled, his eyes twinkling. "Of course you can, Lily Bug," he said, using the nickname he had given her weeks ago. "And I'll call you my daughter, always." The decision was made. Jedediah set about the legal process of adopting Lily, ensuring that she would be his daughter in every way that mattered. The ranch hands were overjoyed at the news, celebrating with a bonfire and a hearty feast. They had all come to love Lily, and they were thrilled that she was officially becoming a part of their family. The ranch, once a lonely place for Jedediah, was now filled with love, laughter, and the promise of a bright future. Lily was finally home, and Jedediah was finally a father. Their hearts were full. The adoption papers were finalized, making Lily officially Jedediah's daughter. She reveled in the security and love that surrounded her. Life at the ranch continued at its usual pace, but with a new sense of joy and purpose. Lily thrived, excelling at her riding lessons and becoming an expert at caring for the animals. She also showed a talent for drawing, filling notebooks with sketches of the ranch, the horses, and the cowboys. One afternoon, as Lily was sketching Goldie in the pasture, a wagon pulled up to the ranch house. It was a familiar wagon, one that Lily recognized with a sinking feeling in her stomach. Alara, Bertram, and Clarence stepped down from the wagon, looking dusty and travel-worn. Alara approached the ranch house, her eyes scanning the well-kept property. She wore a fake smile that didn't reach her eyes. Dusty, who happened to be nearby, stopped her before she could reach the door. "Can I help you, ma'am?" he asked, his voice polite but firm. "I'm looking for my stepdaughter, Lily," Alara said, her voice dripping with false sweetness. "We were separated on the trail, and I've been searching for her ever since." Dusty narrowed his eyes, recognizing the woman's deceit. He had heard the story from Jedediah, and he knew that Alara had abandoned Lily intentionally. "Lily is here," he said, "but I don't think she wants to see you." "Nonsense," Alara said, pushing past Dusty. "She's my family. I have a right to see her." Just then, Lily emerged from the pasture, her eyes widening in shock as she saw Alara. She clutched her sketchbook to her chest, her heart pounding in her chest. "Lily!" Alara exclaimed, rushing towards her. "Oh, my dear girl, I've been so worried about you." She reached out to embrace Lily, but Lily stepped back, recoiling from her touch. "What do you want, Alara?" Lily asked, her voice cold and distant. Alara's smile faltered. "I just wanted to see if you were all right, darling," she said, her eyes darting around the ranch, taking in the well-fed cattle, the sturdy buildings, and the prosperous appearance of the place. "And to see if you needed anything." Lily saw the greed in Alara's eyes, the same greed that had driven her to abandon her on the trail. She knew that Alara wasn't interested in her well-being. She was only interested in Jedediah's wealth. "I don't need anything from you, Alara," Lily said, her voice firm. "I have a family now, a real family, and I don't want anything to do with you or your sons." Alara's face hardened. "You can't turn your back on your family, Lily," she said, her voice rising. "We're all you have." "No," Lily said, shaking her head. "You're not my family. Jedediah is my father, and this is my home. Now leave, and don't ever come back." With that, Lily turned and walked back towards the ranch house, leaving Alara standing alone in the dust, her greedy plans thwarted. The peaceful days at the ranch were about to be disrupted, but Lily knew she had the strength and the love of her new family to face whatever challenges lay ahead. Jedediah, having witnessed the confrontation from the porch, strode down to where Alara stood, her face contorted with anger. Bertram and Clarence lingered near the wagon, their expressions a mixture of resentment and envy. "Alara," Jedediah said, his voice calm but firm, "I think it's time you and your sons left. Lily has made her feelings clear." "But Jedediah," Alara protested, adopting a pleading tone, "I'm her family. I made a mistake. I admit it, but I'm willing to make amends." "Surely, you can understand that." Jedediah's eyes hardened. "I understand that you abandoned a defenseless child in the middle of nowhere," he said. "I understand that you only came back because you saw an opportunity to exploit her. And I understand that you are not welcome here." He gestured towards the gate. "I'm going to ask you one more time, Alara. Leave now." Alara, seeing the unwavering resolve in Jedediah's eyes, realized she wasn't going to get anywhere with him. She glared at Lily, who stood on the porch, her chin held high. "You'll regret this, Lily," she hissed. "You'll see. You can't turn your back on blood." With that, she turned and stomped back to the wagon, followed by Bertram and Clarence. They climbed into the wagon, Alara snapping the reins, and the wagon lurched forward, heading back down the road. Jedediah watched them go, a sense of relief washing over him. He knew that Alara might try to cause trouble in the future, but he was determined to protect Lily from her influence. He turned and walked back to the porch, where Lily was waiting for him. He put his arm around her, drawing her close. "Are you all right, Lilybug?" he asked, his voice filled with concern. Lily leaned against him, feeling safe and secure in his embrace. "I'm all right, Papa," she said. "I'm just glad she's gone." "She won't bother you again, Lily," Jedediah said, his voice reassuring. "I promise you that. I'll make sure of it." He knew that he would have to take steps to protect Lily from Alara's greed. He spoke with his lawyer, drawing up legal documents that would prevent Alara from having any claim to Lily's inheritance or well-being. He also made it clear to the local authorities that Alara was not to be trusted and that any attempt by her to contact Lily should be reported immediately. He would use his wealth and influence to ensure that Lily was safe and protected. As the sun set, casting long shadows across the ranch, Jedediah and Lily sat on the porch, watching the horses graze in the pasture. The peaceful scene belied the turmoil that had just taken place, but Lily knew that she was safe, that she was loved, and that she had a father who would do anything to protect her. And that was all that mattered. With Alara gone, life at the ranch settled into a peaceful rhythm once more. Lily continued to thrive, growing into a confident and compassionate young woman. She excelled in her studies, learning to read and write, and continued to develop her artistic talents, filling her sketchbooks with detailed drawings of the world around her. Jedediah hired a tutor to come to the ranch, ensuring that Lily received the best possible education. She also became skilled in the ways of the ranch, learning to ride, rope, and care for the cattle. She was a natural with animals, and the horses seemed to sense her gentle spirit. She often spent hours in the pasture, talking to the horses and grooming their manes. Jedediah watched her with pride, marveling at her resilience and her unwavering spirit. He had never imagined that his life could be so full of joy. Lily had brought sunshine into his life, and he was grateful for every moment they shared. One day, Jedediah received a letter from his lawyer, informing him that Alara had attempted to contest the adoption, claiming that she was Lily's rightful guardian and that Jedediah was unfit to raise her. Jedediah was furious. He knew that Alara was only motivated by greed, and he was determined to protect Lily from her lies. He instructed his lawyer to fight Alara's claim with every resource at their disposal. He gathered affidavits from the ranch hands, testifying to Lily's happiness and well-being at the ranch. He also presented evidence of Alara's abandonment of Lily on the trail, proving her unsuitability as a guardian. The legal battle was long and arduous, but in the end, Jedediah prevailed. The court ruled in his favor, upholding the adoption and affirming his right to be Lily's father. Alara's claim was dismissed, and she was ordered to stay away from Lily. Jedediah shared the news with Lily, who was overjoyed and relieved. She knew that Jedediah would always protect her, no matter what. She felt safe and secure in his love, and she was grateful for the life they had built together. To further ensure Lily's safety, Jedediah decided to build a high fence around the ranch, creating a physical barrier that would keep Alara and her sons away. He also hired extra ranch hands to patrol the property, providing additional security. He wanted to make sure that Lily could live her life without fear, knowing that she was safe and protected. Life at the ranch continued, filled with love, laughter, and the unwavering bond between a father and daughter. Jedediah and Lily had faced adversity and overcome it, emerging stronger and more united than ever before. Their family was built on love, trust, and a deep commitment to protecting each other, and that bond could never be broken. The setting sun over the ranch symbolized the warmth and security they had found together, a beacon of hope in the vast and sometimes unforgiving landscape. Years passed, and Lily grew into a beautiful and intelligent young woman. She continued to excel in everything she did, becoming a skilled artist, a knowledgeable rancher, and a compassionate member of the community. She used her artistic talents to create portraits of the local families, donating the proceeds to charity. She also worked with Jedediah to improve the ranch, implementing sustainable farming practices and ensuring the well-being of the animals. Jedediah watched her with immense pride, his heart overflowing with love. He had given her a home, but she had given him so much more in return. She had filled his life with joy, laughter, and a sense of purpose he had never known before. As Lily grew older, she began to take on more responsibility at the ranch, managing the finances, overseeing the ranch hands, and making important decisions about the future of the business. Jedediah trusted her implicitly, knowing that she had the intelligence, the compassion, and the work ethic to make the ranch thrive. He also encouraged her to pursue her own dreams and aspirations, supporting her artistic endeavors and encouraging her to travel and see the world. He wanted her to experience all that life had to offer, knowing that she would always carry the values of the ranch with her, no matter where she went. One day, Lily approached Jedediah with a proposal. "Papa," she said, "I've been thinking about what we can do to help the less fortunate in our community." Jedediah smiled, knowing that Lily's heart was as big as the sky above. "What do you have in mind, Lily Bug?" he asked. "I want to use some of the ranch's profits to establish a foundation that will provide assistance to families in need," she said. "We can offer scholarships to deserving students, provide food and shelter to the homeless, and support local charities that are working to make a difference." Jedediah was deeply moved by her generosity. "That's a wonderful idea, Lily," he said. "I'm proud of you for thinking of others." Together, they established the Strong Family Foundation, which quickly became a vital resource for the community. The foundation provided assistance to countless families, helping them to overcome adversity and build better lives for themselves. Lily poured her heart and soul into the foundation, working tirelessly to ensure that it made a positive impact on the world. The ranch became more than just a business. It became a symbol of hope and generosity, a testament to the power of love and compassion. Jedediah and Lily had created a legacy that would endure for generations to come, a legacy built on the values of hard work, kindness, and a deep commitment to making the world a better place. Their bond as father and daughter grew stronger with each passing year, a testament to the power of love to transform lives. The ranch was truly a home, filled with warmth, laughter, and the unwavering support of a loving family. Years continued to pass, marked by seasons of growth, hard work, and unwavering love. Lily, now in her late 20s, stood beside Jedediah as he surveyed the ranch, his weathered face etched with pride. The ranch had prospered under their combined stewardship, becoming a beacon of innovation and sustainability in the region. The Strong Family Foundation had expanded its reach, providing not only financial assistance, but also educational programs, vocational training, and community outreach initiatives. Lily's artistic talents were put to good use, as she designed and illustrated educational materials for children and created public art installations that celebrated the history and culture of the West. The community revered Lily for her kindness, her compassion, and her unwavering dedication to helping others. She was a role model for young women, inspiring them to pursue their dreams and to make a positive impact on the world. She never forgot her own humble beginnings, and she always remembered the kindness that Jedediah had shown her when she was lost and alone. Jedediah, now in his twilight years, watched Lily with a deep sense of satisfaction. He had given her a home, but she had given him a legacy that would endure for generations to come. He knew that the ranch was in good hands, and he was confident that Lily would continue to uphold the values that they both cherished. One sunny afternoon, as they sat on the porch, sipping lemonade and watching the horses graze in the pasture, Jedediah turned to Lily, his eyes twinkling with affection. "You know, Lily Bug," he said, "I never thought I'd be so lucky. You came into my life and made it complete. You're the best daughter a man could ask for." Lily smiled, her heart overflowing with love. "And you're the best father a girl could ask for, Papa," she said. "You saved me, and you gave me a life, I never dreamed possible. I'm so grateful for everything you've done for me." Jedediah reached out and took her hand, squeezing it gently. "We saved each other, Lily," he said. "We were both lost and alone, and we found each other. And together, we built a family, a home, and a legacy that will last forever." They sat in silence for a moment, watching the sunset paint the sky in hues of orange, pink, and purple. The peaceful scene was a reflection of their own inner peace, a testament to the power of love to heal, to transform, and to create a lasting bond that could never be broken. Their journey had been long and arduous, but they had persevered, emerging stronger and more united than ever before. And as they sat there, side by side, watching the sun dip below the horizon, they knew that their story was far from over. They had many more years to share, many more dreams to pursue, and many more lives to touch. And they would do it together as father and daughter, forever bound by love. The sun dipped below the horizon, casting long shadows across the sprawling ranch. Lily, her hair streaked with silver, sat beside Jedediah, his hand gnarled with age resting gently on hers. The years had etched lines on their faces, each line a testament to the joys and challenges they had faced together. Around them, the ranch bustled with activity. Ranch hands tended to the horses, children played in the yard, and the aroma of Martha's freshly baked bread wafted from the kitchen. The ranch was no longer just a business. It was a thriving community, a testament to the power of love, compassion, and hard work. The strong family foundation had continued to expand its reach, providing assistance to countless families in need. Lily's artistic talents had brought joy and inspiration to communities far and wide. Jedediah's legacy of generosity had been amplified by Lily's vision and compassion, creating a lasting impact that extended far beyond the borders of their ranch. "It's a beautiful sunset, Papa," Lily said, her voice filled with contentment. Jedediah smiled, his eyes twinkling. "It is, Lilybug," he said, "but not as beautiful as you." Lily laughed, a warm and familiar sound that filled Jedediah's heart with joy. "You always know how to make me smile, Papa," she said. They sat in silence for a moment, watching the sun disappear below the horizon, painting the sky in a breathtaking display of colors. The ranch was bathed in a golden light, a symbol of the warmth and love that radiated from their home. "I'm so grateful for you, Papa," Lily said, her voice filled with emotion. "You saved me, and you gave me a life I never dreamed possible." Jedediah squeezed her hand gently. "And I'm grateful for you, Lily," he said. "You gave me a reason to live, a purpose to my life. You filled my heart with love and laughter. You made me a father." They sat together, two souls forever bound by love, watching the sunset over their ranch, their family, their legacy. The ranch was their home, their sanctuary, their haven. It was a place where dreams came true, where hope flourished, and where love reigned supreme. And as they sat there, side by side, watching the sun disappear below the horizon, they knew that their story would continue to inspire others for generations to come. The orphan girl, left on the trail, had found her home, her family, and her destiny. And the wealthy cowboy, once lonely and alone, had found his daughter, his purpose, and his forever family. Their love story, etched against the backdrop of the American West, would forever be a testament to the power of kindness, compassion, and the unwavering bond between a father and daughter. The end.